What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade, basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video today. We're going to talk about the Clippers again, as they have a rumor that a lot of people been interested in. I'm going to put my 2 cents in it and give y'all what I think about this particular topic. And this CP3 returning to the Clippers. He returned to Oklahoma and helped them get back to the playoffs for another season and gave them a competitive series against the Rockets. And this is an interesting one because I didn't really hear too much bad blood with Chris Paul in the Clippers. And I had to make that known about what I know and what I done heard. I never heard anything bad between him and Ballmer. I never heard anything bad because they don't even have Doc Rivers there no more anyway as a coach. So a lot of the things that you would hear would have came out, or eventually somebody would have spoke about it. I haven't heard too much bad blood between them two. So I can see Chris Paul wanting to come back to the Clippers for a chance to win the title. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Can they find a way to improve their roster? Can they find a way to get this roster to the next level so that way they can increase their chances of winning the title? And, adding Chris Paul will only help that. I like Patrick Beverly. I like what he brings to the table. I like the contract that he's on. And a lot of people in the league respect Patrick Beverly as a player. And even though I think the Clippers got caught up in a lot of hoopla, they was doing all this talking and doing all this crap, and it didn't really get them anywhere. And they really lost in an embarrassing fashion, being up 3-1. But Tyronn Lue and Chris Paul will help that culture be built the right way. As we always hear about it, Chris Paul is a leader. A lot of people feel that the Clippers don't have a leader. They don't have somebody that can push them. And I think Tyronn Lue and Chris Paul can hold these guys accountable, can go at their heads because Tyronn Lue is a championship coach and Chris Paul has been one of the best players in the NBA history. But not only that, he also was an all-star just last year in all NBA. So people respect Chris Paul, and he plays on both ends of the court, just like Beverly. The biggest difference is, just like we seen in Houston, Chris Paul can take over a game. Chris Paul, like we seen last year, can close a game. He can control a game. And he's a guy that's going to give it to you on both ends of the court and still give you the three-point shooting, still give you the playmaking, can give you the shot making, and he's a guy that has always been efficient, has always took care of the ball, and he does have a killer mentality. He just haven't got over the hump. And when you have a championship coach like Tyronn Lue, and you got a championship Finals MVP player that has played with people like Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, LaMarcus Aldridge, and even Greg Popovich and Nick Nurse, has been known as one of the best coaches in the league, even coach of the year this season. Kawhi Leonard knows what it takes. He's shown that he can carry a team. He has shown that he can take over a game. But one thing that Chris Paul would love about Kawhi Leonard, he's coachable. You can talk to him. You can get him motivated, and you can also tell him what to do, whether it's taking over, whether it's playing within the game. Chris Paul and Kawhi Leonard can mesh that way because Kawhi Leonard is not a selfish player. He understands the game, he dominates the game, but he's not selfish. And I will also say that about Paul George, and I also will say that if they will get Chris Paul has never been a selfish player. He has never been a greedy player. He plays the game the right way, and he does it on both courts, and he can rely that to a guy like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. So if I had to be honest with you, I think this trade makes sense. What do it make sense for OKC? I don't think so, unless they just trying to get rid of Chris Paul and get something back, because the Clippers don't really have young talent that you're dying to get. They don't have picks that you're dying to get. So the only reason why the Thunder would do it is one, doing it for Chris Paul, like we seen with Westbrook, letting Chris Paul go, so that way he'll be happy and you get something back from him just because you'll be trading. But honestly, I don't really see too many assets for the Clippers to sweeten the deal. And I think that even though it'll be a good fit for Chris Paul and it'll be a good fit for the Clippers, they don't really have anything really interesting to me for a guy like Chris Paul, especially after the season he just had. You probably can get something better from a team that's a little bit more desperate. And that's the unfortunate part about this trade is Chris Paul is wanted, Chris Paul is respected, and a lot of teams like Philly and we done heard Milwaukee, a lot of them teams can offer more or make a better deal, and those teams can still give Chris Paul a chance to win a title, which would be no big difference compared to going to the Clippers. The only reason why the Clippers would do it is because they're trying to upgrade their roster so that way they can have a better chance of winning the title next year if they can keep everybody healthy and everybody gets on the same page. That's why they would do it. But it is some teams that got better assets, and it is some teams that got better picks than the Clippers that can give Chris Paul the same opportunity, which is competing for a title. I thought that was important, so I had to bring that up. But other than that, I feel like he will fit in. I feel like he will be the perfect piece for this team, especially if they can keep Zubac because you still need a big that can rebound, do the dirty work, and you will still need a little bit of a bench. So that way you ain't so top heavy to the point of an injury happen, you're mediocre. But even if an injury happen, you still do have two other All-Star caliber players between those. And like I said, I'm still want to see what they do with Kawhi Leonard. A lot of people don't like this in and out type of game. I don't. I thought Kawhi Leonard could have been an MVP and things like that, and it does hurt a lot of chemistry because he's in and out. Paul George in and out. Metrez was in and out, and Shamit had COVID-19, so he was in and out. That is a recipe for disaster. Even though they made it look better than we thought, even though we never really gave up on them, even though we always gave them the credit and the respect that we thought they deserved, they didn't deliver. And that's why they're in a situation with a new head coach, and that's why they're in a situation when they're looking for Chris Paul. So keep that under consideration if you're a Clippers fan. But the Clippers fan don't hate Chris Paul. Chris Paul never said nothing negative or hated the Clippers. I never heard nothing negative about him and Ballmer. And if it does happen, I think it'd be the step in the right direction for this team because you basically have to go all in at this point with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George being free agents possibly next year and leaving for nothing. Well, the Clippers will get nothing if they choose to leave because they free agents. You basically have to go all in, just like the Bucks got to do with Giannis. Giannis hasn't signed the extension. He hasn't even said that he was going to sign it. He even said that he was going to try to test free agency. You lose Giannis for nothing, you're rebuilding anyway. And the Clippers have no good picks left. So if they do lose Kawhi Leonard or Paul George or both, you get nothing. But at least if you made the trade for Chris Paul, you show them that you will do whatever it takes to win, and you showing them that you're committed to winning. And on top of that, it increases your chances of winning the title, bringing in a talent like Chris Paul. So to me, at the end of the day, this trade would make sense. I would like to see what the Clippers would give up. I would like to see what will happen if they would bring back Chris Paul. I don't think no negative things would be said. I think everybody will be positive. Everybody was picking the Clippers to win the title this year, and adding Chris Paul will only add more respect to that. And it will also add them probably already they're the favorites, so it probably would make them the favorites next year to a lot of people anyway, just like they was without them last year. So let's see what happens. I'm interested in this. I want to see where it goes. But like I said, if you're a Clipper fan, remember it is other teams that is a Chris Paul trade away from being a title contender too, and they also have better assets and things that they can trade, which means that they probably would be in Sam Presti mind getting the best trade available. It might not be the Clippers, so have that in the back of your mind if you're a Clipper fan. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com, link in the description comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com, link in the description comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Thanks for everybody that liked on Facebook already. Also, I do have merchandise on sale on my Spreadshirt. You can check out my Spreadshirt in the comment section. You can check out my Spreadshirt in the description. Click it. You can see the merchandise that I'm selling and support it if you want to. Also, you can message me on Facebook. I got my Facebook page. I have shirts and stuff on display. You can pick the color of the shirt you want. You can pick it of the logo, and I can get you shipped out a shirt or a hat that you might want that you see, and I can get it sent out to you. Also, if you're new to the channel, I make basketball videos each and every day. So if you love basketball, you can't get enough of it, and you like variety, this is the channel for you, as I do breakdowns, games of legends, players, that's the stars and rookies, and I also do cover Summer League. I also cover the NBA draft, free agency, trade deadline, make trade predictions, also make rumor videos, also the hottest topics. Not only that, I also do cover playoff predictions and top 10 lists and things of that nature. So if you love basketball and you really do need it each and every day, and you need a different type of basketball content every day, check out my older videos. And if you like this video and you check out my older videos, I would love if you guys will subscribe. Also, liking and sharing helps me reach more people. The more people I reach, the more people that can see the content, the better it will be for me. And that's a small thing I ask you guys to do. If you can support the channel, those two things will help out a lot. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis. I'm gone.